Hey you guys, welcome back to my video. I know it's been a while, but I do have some changes coming for you guys. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you won't miss an upload. I'm going to try to give you guys 4 videos a day, and I'm going to change my topic to gossip and glue-ins. So pretty much the first 4 people that comment with a topic, that's the topic me and my clients are going to talk about, just to make the channel more interesting and bring in new followers or whatever the case may be. My client, if they want to talk about it, we can, but if not, I'll just talk about how I feel about the topic. So in this video, I want you guys to 4 people update comment a topic of what they would like to talk about. It can be anything from hair to day-to-day life experiences to whatever. Anyways, we will not be talking about sex or none of that. Politicians, we're not doing that. We're talking about everyday life for us African Americans or people that are going through things that we go through. So anyways, without further ado, we're going to be doing a lace frontal quick weave bob, and I already put my client, as you guys can see. It's just like 4, 5, 6 braids going back, and I got the cap down. So let's get into the video. So that's gonna be my new what an name topic on my hair page, glue-ins and gossip. It's just to bring more fun to my channel, basically, because everybody doing different things and I want to do different things. I don't want to just talk about hair. We can talk about hair still, but I want to talk about other stuff just to intrigue the audience. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's a good idea, because I don't think a lot of people thought about that. So anyways, we are using Walker State Ultra Holds. First and foremost, y'all don't mind me. And I look a mess right now, but that's fine. I ain't trying to look good for no videos. I don't care what I look like. I'm just here to please my clients and give you some good content, some real legit content, not no short steps. I'm giving you everything that I do because I don't mind. And there's a lot of people that, you know, bite my style or whatever the case may be, which that's not a problem. Hair is for everybody. Everybody does everything. But it's just like sometimes when you're doing something, no one else is doing it until they see you doing it. And I'm okay with it. But anyways, we are going with Milani in the shade 257, just to put on the front of the cap. And you always want to go with like a little bit lighter or darker, just to make that cap blend and look like scalp. And again, do not mind what I look like. Just worry about how my client is going to be slayed when she get up. So, I gave you the closure. I mean the front. And this is her frontal. I had already bleached and plucked the knots. And let's get into it. I'm going to just go back over the front with some foundation, just to give it a more realistic, flawless blend. And this is the way I do it. Maybe other people do it different, and that's fine. But I'm giving you my way. I'm not worried about what other people do and how they do it. And that's a big thing in the hair world. Worry about what you're doing. Don't let anyone else predict how you feel about how you do your hair. Because eventually, all those people that are trying to teach y'all something, or that's doing hair and giving tutorials, they pretty much learned it from other people. And I have took a class. I took an online class for a shortcut with the frontal. And I took a class with my best friend stylist, and she actually elevated me some, and I am very grateful for that, because you barely find people like that. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start laying the first layer of glue. And when you're using this glue, make sure you're putting it on with something. Do not just slap it on the head, because it's going to be thick and your install is going to be bulky, and you do not want that. That is something that you do not want. So once you finish applying that foundation, just go back over and clean off that hairline, just so everything can be nice and even. So I'm going to take a solo green hair pack, and you can do it with a butter knife, a spatula, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I'm just going to take it, put some on, and I'm just going to spread it. And you see how evenly it spreads? You don't have to worry about your install being thick at the root, like at the beginning, because you do not want that, because it's going to look kind of big, and it's not going to lay flat, it's not going to be seamless, and it's not going to be like it's not going to be melted. And again, that is Walker's tape. And like I said, I will be giving y'all 4 videos a week, even if it's like just a week, just to keep you guys updated, because I really feel like I've been slacking in my channel, and the feedback that y'all give me, it really motivates me to keep going, because I genuinely love the feedback that y'all give me. And I'm grateful for all those that follow me. Even if you don't follow me, you just look at my videos, that's okay with me too, because I'm getting a view.
respect me. But his father, on the other hand, that's what he was.
And I'm sorry, you guys. Let me tell you what I would have done first. But I'm so into the video, and I didn't. Usually, what I would do, because to me it's easier, and it definitely gives it a better install, is when you cut the frontal, measure the frontal first, and then cut it. I mean, then cut it, and then place your glue. And that's my personal opinion.
Doc was in charge, and nobody else knew who Doc had the contacts in Chicago. When he made a transaction in Chicago, no one was allowed to be with him during that transaction. They had to work in the car. He kept that confidential. That was.
And try to get this glue as flat as possible, because the flatter it is, the flatter your install will lay, and the better it will melt. So that's 3, and we're gonna go with 4.
When he needed to re-up or get more crack cocaine, he went into the city.
See? So what I'm gonna do is just cut it across as close to the hairline as possible. Hot comb it and just get those hairs back.
It was in somebody else's name. A big black SUV. You later found out had a hidden compartment. But he went in, picked it up, brought it back to Rockford, where he fixed it and stored it at his girlfriend's house, away from where he slept or did his business.
So I'm just gonna go like this.
Anytime one of the drug houses that was being operated was on drugs,
and kind of like a zigzag motion.
Informed him that they needed more product.
And as close to the hairline as you can possibly get.
And then you see Duck, driven by Ambrose, go over that Escalade to the Chestnut Street house, pick up a pack, go to the drug house, drop it off, pick up the money, and then take off.
And that's how my cut came out. And keep in mind, I'm gonna cut some more once I lay it down. It's pretty close to the hairline, but it's not actually touching the hairline. And eventually, when you start doing it on your own, you'll pretty much learn your own techniques. But this is mine.
Shoot, fights, all type of stuff. That's how I know it's bad. It's a gut shot bullet right here. There's so much that shoots on here. We was sitting on my couch and all there was gunshots. I had to jump on the floor. I'm like, oh my God, they ain't shooting.
And try to get some of them them little loops and shit out of it.
To fight for no reason.
So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and do one more layer of glue, just to solidify this install. Pick those flyaway hairs out if you can.
So as I said that, the jump in his car, burst almost hit his friend, and it's got to shoot. Took off.
So let's do one more, and this time I'm gonna go above what I've already done. Please, please, please get those hairs that has attached from that glue. Get those out of there so your install can stick perfectly.
So that's what he tried to get out here to do. He said like he had kids and they had to eat. So I don't think it was wrong. Because it's hard out here, and it is. It's hard, and I can't see him like I want to.
And notice none of the glue is on her hair. And if it is, it's just like at the base, which is pretty much not her hair. It's just where her hairline would begin, a little bit before where her hairline would begin. So when she take this off, she'll pretty much have to get glue off her forehead versus her hairline, her actual hair. And another thing is when you're putting on glue and you have a cap, try to stay downward and don't try not to pick in that cap, because that cap will loosen. And anything that is not laying down, you can always clean it with the alcohol.
It's like concrete jumping over the ground, hitting the shell, hitting the car. Because I took gangs into it. That's the first time I even heard his name, what knew about him. Man, Duck is a person, man. He was a caring dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he'd come talk to me about his girlfriend, father. And that's the Duck that I know. I thought he was my friend.
Good thing about this glue is you can literally completely let it dry, and you can heat it back up with the flat iron, and it'll stick just like it was never dry. Did she say dance?
He doesn't look exactly like him. He has enough mannerisms and just his attitude of the whole like his dad. He's very playful. He's very smart, but just does not listen.
If you see hairs that you can get out with a tweezer, do so.
I worry about both my grandsons getting involved with wrong people. I'm at Bradford.
Like those, and you can still smooth it back over.
You introduce me to the guy in the car. This is my boyfriend.
Now, let's see. This is a touch test.
First time I really
See how that is?
in the car with
Now let's go ahead with the dryer. And you're gonna put the dryer on warm.
you need to know. Jennifer's pregnant. After that day, Brad and I became really close because
So, frontal. Start at the middle. You're gonna go around. And we're not just yet gonna go in and press it. We're just gonna get all of it down first, and then we can go back in and press what needs to be put. And as you're laying the lace, make sure you're putting it backwards. That way you won't have any crumbles in the lace. So when you're doing your corners, and if they dry faster than the other hair, all you gotta do is take a clip.
Okay. Bye.
Take some glue.
Okay. Love you, boo boo. Bye. Bye.
And make sure no hair is in the way where the glue is gonna be going, because the glue will continuously come up. So make sure that area is clean.
Okay. I'm so glad to hear your voice, and you're doing fine, and I'm doing fine. We're just trying to make it, and trying to look forward to you coming back home with us. And that's all. Oh, you got to go now? Okay, love you. All right, bye.
It's funny how my life ended up on the road to self-destruction. When I was younger, a kid, I should say around the age of 8 or 9 years old, I hated drugs and I hated gangs. I grew up in a house with a mother and an uncle who was addicted to cocaine and heroin. In the midst of all this chaos, we had my grandmother who I loved with all my heart and soul. She kept a roof over my head, designer clothes on my back, and made sure I didn't miss a meal. My grandmother provided for me and my sister the best she could. She even did her best to teach me how to be a man. She told me to stand up for myself, to beat the living shit out of anyone who disrespected me. She always tried to keep me away from drugs, and she always said, boy, you see how this shit got your mama, your daddy, your uncle, so you always get them all.
Now let's go. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so at this point, turn it on medium cold. Cool. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and go across her hairline. Get it with the lotta. You're just gonna go beyond the hairline. You're not gonna go at the hairline because you don't want it to slip out.
Because even though y'all did drugs, you did us, you didn't beat us, we didn't get raped, you didn't take us to no drug houses, you ain't never leave us, abandon us. So don't feel bad, yeah, you know, you hurt us, but you ain't never did shit to us. Like, you know, people could say my mama did this, or my mama let this man rape me because, you know, she was on drugs and didn't know. Some children will sell to their mothers, or give their mother heroin, like cocaine. That's something my children would never do. And see, and most parents expect their children that sells drugs for them to give them heroin and cocaine, or to buy that for them. I've never asked him to buy me any heroin. Or even to get, no, he wouldn't do it anyway. He wouldn't give me any money for it or anything like that. He would not do that. But there is a lot of people expecting their kids, their family members, they expect their children to buy them heroin and cocaine. I'm still wondering, am I the reason for this?
I used to be ashamed when my mother had to come up to the school to check up on me or come and get me because I was suspended for fighting or something. I was embarrassed because a lot of drugs affected her appearance. One thing I can say about my mother, she never stole from my family though. And she always bought me and my sister clothes and shoes and then got
That's rapid.
when she had left. I never really was playing with my head because I was raised to be my own man. I made my own decisions. I still knew right from wrong. No one ever forced me to sell drugs, carry guns, use guns.
That's too tight.
Somebody else, rob somebody, any criminal act I did.
So we did that. Now let's go ahead. Okay, you guys. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing the closure down. I mean the frontal down. And I'm gonna start like that. And when you're sewing the frontal down, make sure you pull it to the capacity. That way it won't be any lumps in the front of the hair when you're parting. So just keep it snug to ensure that you don't have no lumps in your frontal when you're parting or styling. Okay, so when you're pulling in and when you're looping, make sure before you knot it, make sure you pull your frontal back. That way it's not bunched up when you're trying to part, if you get what I'm saying.
I'm planning on one day fixing it up, and I want to have a place for him when he do come home. You know, the area is nice. My neighbors is nice.
Okay, so like I was saying, you guys, in this video, when you watch the video, I want the 4 people to comment a topic. And out of the first 4 people that comment, I'm going to take those topics. It can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about hair. It can be just like life experiencing, elevating, or starting to be a stylist or anything. However, I will not be talking about anything sexual. My personal relationship, I won't be talking about that. I don't want to talk about no drama because I'm not here for that. So gossip can pretty much mean just anything. Gossip does not have to be messy. It can be just gossip about everyday life, if you get what I'm saying. Oh, you hit that. So just like this. Before you loop, you're gonna loop, and before you knot it, pull it. That way you won't have any folds in your frontal before you're parting. Make sure you pull those hairs out so your needle won't get knotted up. And I also have another video for you guys. I'm going to do it today, but I'm not going to upload it until tomorrow. So once I see the topic on it, I'll pick the first 4 topics. And the very first topic is the topic that I will be discussing when I upload my next video. So please make it comment because I am going to change my video. I mean my YouTube name to Gossip and Glue Ins. Different. Not everyone's doing that. If they are, kudos to them. but I want to do something different because I want to really elevate my channel, because I honestly been slacking a lot, and I really am grateful for those who that comment, and I haven't been able to get back to y'all comments because I had a lot going on, especially with COVID and Christmas coming up and all that, and I just really been so overbooked when it comes to like holidays, and I wasn't able to record how I wanted to, so I just didn't record at all.
Federal investigators and that they should get out of the house immediately. Scrambled back to Roger that night. Ambrose Jones in the SUV and Duck.
And make sure you're pulling when you're getting closer to the end and you're pulling. Make sure you pull a little. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Make sure you're pulling the tip of that closure downward and backward, downward and back. That way it can be snug, and your client doesn't have to worry about a loose frontal. Uh-oh, I'm doing too much. I'm aggravating you yet? Just trying to keep them updated and gotta give them a raw install. Cause I ain't upload since before Thanksgiving, and I still get paid, but it's not what I should be getting paid, because I know I got potential to make so much. So much more money on YouTube, because it's actually a good platform for like stylists or DIYers or people that does makeup. It's good money. And I always tell people that, especially people that's doing stuff, I be like, why don't y'all make a YouTube? I say, I shout y'all out for all my customers to see, because bitch, I'm not a hater. Bitch, it's enough money for everybody, and I be trying to get everybody money. And it's probably people that won't do it for me, but that ain't gonna stop who I am. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Just because you telling somebody about a platform, that doesn't mean it's gonna stop your grind. So boom, I am done sewing. So what I usually do is cut it a little bit, take some glue, put it on that thread, put it on that thread, and just do it that way. And keep in mind, this cap is really, really hard, so you don't have to worry about hair loss or anything. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and bun. We got two 10-inch solo green in color 1B, and we're going to go ahead and bun. Oh, yeah. And the same way you see me bunding it this way is the same way I'm bunding the other way. Just go pretty much straight down. And I'm doubling my trays just to make the ball full, because she has a frontal in the front, and I want it to be as full as possible without looking too bulky. Turn. Okay, so this is another trick, you guys. To get a fuller look on a bob, turn. When you're getting to the frontal part, you're gonna part a little bit, just like that. And this is gonna go for both sides. So you can go ahead and flat iron that, just so it's already flat iron. Turn. I'm sorry. The same way I parted here, we're gonna do the same on this side. So boom. See how I did that? What you're gonna do, you're gonna take those tracks and you're gonna bun where that part starts. And this is just to give it a fuller look. You're not going to go too much into the frontal, but you're going to go just enough to where your frontal and bob like pretty much mesh with each other. You won't tell where the tracks start and where the tracks end. And that gives you a fuller look. A fuller look. Damn, I'm high-toned it is a motherfucker right now. I can't stand for grandmas to do quarter penises, honey. Because they bring you down to your weakest, honey. Be like, now, grandma, you did not have to say that. You went too far. Turn. Just like that, you guys. Put a little bit of that in your closure. I mean, your frontal. Just to make it fuller. And you won't be able to tell where the track stops or where the frontal starts. And that's what you want. Because when you're doing a frontal, of course, the frontal hair is always thinner than the track hair. And make sure it's good and bond it down so you won't have to go back and do all that.
There is this expectation to portray this street credibility, even if it gets them in trouble.
Okay, so you're gonna do the same on the next side, on the next section as well.
So I know there were some rumors about there being some disagreements between the parties over the residuals.
This way. So I'm gonna go up one more track, and then I'm just gonna bun regular, without getting it in the frontal. Bun it in the frontal. Same thing I'm gonna do on that side. And if you are not a person that's patient when you're getting a wig or a frontal bun in, this is not the style for you. Some people can rush through it, but when you're a perfectionist, you have to take your time. Some styles are not meant to be rushed through. And I can honestly say this is definitely one of those styles. You have to take your time. So when you're scheduling, make sure you schedule for the appropriate amount of time it would take you to do this look. Whether it's just a bob, frontal bob, or a frontal bun in, or a wig in general. Because not only do you have to glue it in, you still have to style it, cut, and make sure everything is on point. So after I do this track, I'm gonna stop the video and I'm just gonna go ahead and finish bonding, and then I'll come back with the cutting and everything. I can't keep a comb. That's not right. Okay, so boom, make sure that hair is tacked. because it will come up if you pull it too hard before getting the other side down. So go back in and check your work and make sure that hair is tacked, because you do not want your clients leaving and saying my hair came up, and you know our clients will pull it now. Okay, so I showed you what I'm doing, like how I do this just to make it look fuller. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the bun the rest off camera, and I'll be back when I'm styling. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, when you see this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've been here rocking with me, keep it coming. And like I said at the end of the video, you guys can pick the first 4 people that comment a topic. Those are the topics we're gonna do for next week. We're gonna make 4 videos a week, whether it's a wig, a style, or whatever. I just want to update you guys more because I want to do more with my channel, and I want you guys to interact with me. I'm going to do a whole revamp of the whole situation because I want a better background. I want better lighting and all of that. So you guys be patient with me because it's coming, and we going to the top, believe me. So see you later at the end of this video, and as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. You guys are the best. Okay. So you guys,
Basically, at the end of the day, SNCY is supplying the entire city with government with their marijuana. And the two of them are making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Based on the new information, investigators submit a list for phone records from Gary Bradford and Desensei White.
What we're looking for is where they are the day before the murder, during the murder, things of that nature. Once the records came in, we saw where they traveled down into the area of Northside Hospital, an hour or two before the murder, and they're together. They're not coming out before, but they're there.
So this all began to sort of tie some loose ends together, but it still didn't paint the big picture.
El Dorado Red and Desensei Chris White are now lead suspects in the murder, but detectives now need to determine why a California basketball star and known Alabama drug dealer would want a rapper from Atlanta dead.
It was probably a few weeks in. The 911 center had received a phone call from a confidential informant.
and keep in mind when you're using this glue, make sure it's completely dry, because if you don't know how to get it up, you're gonna be in a world of pain. So just keep in mind with that too, because sometimes you can think it's completely dry and it won't be.
And learned that he was part of the Baggy Money gang under Eldorado Red. We're researching where and we see where he received a speeding ticket June 6, 2012, in the afternoon on I-85, close to the Georgia border. This is the day before the murder. I called the trooper booth for speeding. There's 2 hours. When they were stopped, they were asked where they were going. They both said that they were traveling to Atlanta to a funeral. Good witnesses at the hospital that gave good descriptions.
I gotta get a new one, but
Short, and the short suspect was approximately 5'3", 5'4", with a short afro. Passenger is DeAndre Washington, who's 5'4". We're now following the shooters. They're coming in town. Royce Connor's phone records places him at the scene of the murder.
I was shocked to learn and find out this guy was the CI of the FBI.
He makes a phone call. 38 seconds after 911 was called. He's inside the Northside Hospital. He's inside the complex.
and always remember those pieces I told you to hide those tracks in the back. Make sure you flat iron those. I mean, you put the hot foam to them and make sure they are laying down, because you don't want that track to show.
It's just insane.
Investigators are swiftly moving in on multiple emerging suspects in the killing of Melvin Doe Bradford III, when one man, DeAndre Washington, comes to the forefront. Detectives follow up on a traffic stop that took place the day before the murder, just over the border in Alabama.
Because of the traffic stop, we learned that the passenger is DeAndre Washington, who's has a medium-sized afro.
Washington matches the exact description of witnesses at the scene, and phone records help pin down his and associate Maurice Connor's whereabouts during the brutal execution.
I don't know. I think I got to get a bigger one, because the one that I really want to use, I think I got to get a bigger tripod for it. So we are going in with the shade is going to be 275 amber, I guess.
Investigators tighten their grip on the 4 main suspects, but there remains a burning question left to be answered.
It's not enough. How did they know he was in the hospital? His fiance, on this radar, she called Melvin Manel. He admitted to with a realtor all day looking at houses. Then he goes to Popeyes, then he goes to the hospital. I mean, he's been traveling all day. How did they know he was there? At this point, the investigation kind of hits a crossroads. We had the FBI agent call and make their registered phone in person who specifically gave us the name of Desensei White and Gary Bradford, who was March 5.
I was shocked to learn and find out this guy was the CI of the FBI. I couldn't believe it.
So what we're gonna do is clean up that part with some spray, and not a lot of spray, just a light mist of spray. That way you can still have that natural look. You don't want to go and spray the hairline, just the part.
I went in
That's it. And you're good to go. Now,
While Manny safeguards himself behind the FBI, Will Fat's case continues to resonate throughout the breathing Atlanta hip-hop community, causing more leads to pour into the police.
I received a phone call from a detective in Montgomery who says we have a gentleman who has very intimate information about your murder, and the shooter confessed elements of the crime to him. Okay, sure, put me on speaker. When I said, what do you know? He said Colorado Red recruited Maurice, Connor, and DeAndre Washington to kill Melvin Brown. So, okay, where'd they kill him? Northside Hospital in Park Neck, what is that? Okay. What did they shoot him with? A Glock 357 City. We never released that. We never released that. And at that time, I was, you know what? I'm not having this conversation over the phone. See you in 3 hours. We drove out to Montgomery and we interviewed that gentleman for 4 hours. He told me that DeAndre Washington confessed the entire murder to him. DeAndre explained to him how he shot him, how they found him, and everything.
Not only does this new information influence the shooter,
So,
DeAndre Washington,
with that being said,
Detective Williams,
go ahead with that same
I then
thing
asked the informant, how did they know he was there?
and get that part so we can look clean.
His trackers and some Russian guy was renting cars for him. They tracked him, yeah, tracked him the night before, and they couldn't get him. Oh, the Russian was out.
Russian is the FBI's informant and car rental entrepreneur, Manny Juhayev.
Manny
We got these, and we're just gonna curl that.
didn't make the payment. Manny would be able to track the vehicle and get it back. A task force is formed to go up to the impound lot.
And actually curling it to make it.
GPS
You
tracker.
jump so motherfucking high. Oh, that man that I took last night. Like, I literally feel how that's the only way I was able to go to damn sleep.
So you give us the serial numbers. The trackers that we
We're gonna put that, a little bit of that there, and let's use the white one. Oh, there you go, Mom.
So when you go into the iMetric website and you go to names and you get a list of every vehicle he's got. And you literally go up and there's a little icon that says CNF and locate. You click it and it gives you latitude, longitude, what vehicle it is. It's running its speed. You can see video can be located every 20 or 30 minutes. Somebody was literally hunting Melvin for down the phone. You know, in order to prosecute that, we got to really get your witnesses. A gentleman approaches him with a Glock with an extended magazine and says, give me the package.
So, there she go.
There is this expectation.
So you're gonna just go.
This very image.
And baby hairs are what you make them. Some people like them big, some people like them natural, some people like them whatever. But to me, it all depends on the hairstyle.
Love at first sight can't be real. Cold, bitter, sometimes deadly. Austin True Crime knows romance is dead.
They find a woman under his desk, gasping for air, claiming to like.
And I don't like my baby hairs to be too bulky, because it just kind of messes up the style. It make the style look old before it's old, if you get what I'm saying. So what I usually do is curl it, cut it a little bit longer than what I'm gonna have it, and I just go ahead and give it that look.
True Crime original series, Killer Relationship with A. Dickens. New, Sundays at 7. Same on TRN.
In their investigation into the brutal murder of rap artist Melvin Brown III, known by his hip-hop moniker as Lil Fat, Sandy Springs detectives have followed leads and collected evidence, narrowing their focus to a group of 4 men. As cell phone data and GPS locator evidence begin to expose how this crime was committed, the question of why continues to
Also, a little bit of that, because you want to make it stay, but you don't want it to look too hard.
We needed someone to provide inside information that would give a step-by-step roadmap as to not just why it happened, but how it happened.
Investigators know their best chance is to focus on the weak link in the group.
I called the Sensei White in Redwood, California. I said, hey, Grizz. He said, yes, sir. I said, I'm Detective J.T. Williams, Sandy Springs Police. How are you? I said, I'd love to fly out there tonight. I got there 7 hours. I said, I'll get your side of the story.
Just like that. That's good what you into being into. Sure, because I want my clients to be okay when they leave. I don't like them to be like, damn, you should have did this different. No, I asked you. That's why I be asking. Because some people don't ask. Then they catch your attitude and be like, well, bitch, you should have motherfucking said that. That's why I be asking. Is it okay? You want me to do it different?
We met on Saturday. The Sensei White had hired Bruce Harvey, very prominent lawyer. Bruce Harvey actually approached him from the courthouse. Listen, I just want to know why Calvin Johnson is not on the indictment. Calvin's name had been brought up before as an associate who could speak for the Red Grizz. Calvin was living in the metro Atlanta area at the time. His full-time job was basically to traffic marijuana from Atlanta to Montgomery. The couriers had nothing to do with the money. Just simple, bring a package, drop it off, and come back. Within the next few days, we did through the phone records, and we actually now see Calvin Johnson, the Sensei White, and the render all together. Where one phone is, the other phone is.
Did you ever get your copies yet?
Nope.
I know that was that hurt.
Yes.
Just don't drugs from one person.
No joke.
At all.
As the four suspects' motives begin to crystallize, investigators are still puzzled by Manny Chopayo's involvement. What does he have to gain by seeing Melvin Frontal dead?
That's a $64 million question, right? What was Manny's intent by providing this information to Grizz and Eldorado Red? It's not like Manny was dealing drugs or moving any product. But there's no doubt that by allowing Red and Grizz to track Lil Fat, that facilitated the murder of Lil Fat.
Investigators struggle to understand why Manny would risk the FBI's protection as a government informant to help
Because
plot
he
a
was
rapper's assassination.
still doing the same thing they got him for before.
They look back at his criminal history.
We learned that Manny had just gotten off federal probation for flipping all these cars, doing this car trickery, title fraud, bid fraud, and was told if he gets caught doing the car thing again, he's going to jail. He's getting a lot of time. And then Melvin now gets caught speeding. He's renting one of Manny's cars. They run the tag, the vehicle comes up stolen. So he goes to jail. Well, Melvin now's not going to plead guilty to court. Melvin's like, this is a rental car. Then why am I going to be charged with possessing a stolen vehicle? Manny knew that Melvin Brown didn't plead guilty. He was going to expose his car. That was very concerning to me, that he was going to expose that he was back in the car for the scam. So when Sensei White and Eldorado Red approached Manny and said, hey, we got to find Melvin now, we got to handle business. It's Manny was in society. He's like, yeah, kill the kid. I can't stand Little Bastard. Let's get rid of this kid and move on.
Oxygen true crime welcomes you to Atlanta, where some folks will kill for what some others know as a good deed.
Just where is the money?
It was his blood early to read.
What do you think? She tried to call 911.
This is the dark side of the new South.
She was a monster. It shook people to the core.
The jury was like, wow.
Oxygen true crime brings you stories from the ATL you've never heard.
They had an arrest on the people. Everything about it was great. We had a deceased Polk County judge. So I told she was struck in the head and face at least 11 times.
He almost convinced the crime.
That man was fought for justice.
That's a one-in-a-million story.
On the Oxygen True Crime's got new episodes of The Real Killers of Atlanta, Sundays at 8. In Atlanta's quiet suburb of Sandy Springs, investigators have been unraveling the complicated murder case of a promising young musician, Melvin Lil Fat Cornell III, and the center, underworld auto hustler and FBI informant, Manny Chopayo. Detectives discover that Melvin's court date for the stolen vehicle charge was only days away when he was ruthlessly murdered.
So now you have murder, and a day after the murder, the district attorney's office gets a phone call from Manny Chopayo's lawyer. Hey, he dropped the case. Melvin was murdered last night, so he closed our stolen car case. Thanks, bye. Very concerning.
Manny's attorney has given police the final nail in his client's coffin by revealing the motive. No more Melvin, no more stolen car case. Chopayo's own statements to the FBI also confirm he helped guide Melvin's killers to their prey. So in May 2013, 2 months after the shooting, investigators are able to make their last arrest in the case.
And so we charged Manny Chopayo because Manny provided all the tracking information so that Grizz and Red could track Lil Fat.
With the pieces put together, it appears the murder of Lil Fat began when the rap star took his onstage personality too far by robbing a drug courier.
Grizz and Eldorado Red go to Manny to track him down. Manny's upset over the stolen car case. The murder storm started to evolve.
It becomes clear that the GPS tracking system supplied by Manny allowed Grizz and Eldorado Red to track Melvin's movements and give them the opportunity to break in and pillage Melvin's house in search of the stolen marijuana.
The next day, they pick up the tracks in the afternoon, and ultimately leads them north to the hospital to the Women's Center. Eldorado Red calls Maurice Connor and calls DeAndre Washington and said, there's the car. We know that Melvin goes upstairs, hangs out with his fiancée to eat, and he's leaving to go work on some music. When Maurice Connor and DeAndre Washington run up, DeAndre puts 6 rounds to the back with them.
2 years after the murder, in August of 2014, trials begin for 3 of the 5 suspects.
The Sensei White, also known as Riv, became a cooperator for the state, actually testified at the trial in this case. He got a 8-year sentence to probation. In exchange for his truthful cooperation in this case, the Sensei White identified DeAndre Washington and Connor as the individuals who were at Northside Hospital and carried out the murder at Red's instruction.
After an arduous 3-week trial, the jury finds Washington and Connor guilty of murder. Eldorado Red is convicted of conspiracy to commit murder. Manny Chopayo shields himself behind a legal technicality.
In this case, the court ruled that the communications between the FBI and Manny Chopayo couldn't be used to prosecute him. So, when we had a lot of evidence against Manny, we couldn't use that evidence, and ultimately this case got dismissed.
This job is all about honor, integrity, doing the right thing. There has to be a voice for the victims. It's definitely the most complicated case I've ever worked. Every emotion. Ultimately, at the end, we was sitting with the whole hands when the sentence was coming out, was wiping away tears of joy that we were able to put these people behind bars where they belong.
prison is in the hands of the inmates. A terrifying escape frees 6 killers from death row. As the men run free, police race against time to track and capture the fugitives
Uh-oh, sorry.
before they kill again. Mecklenburg Correctional Center is the pride of Virginia's prison system. Completed in 1977 at a cost of $20 million, it is state-of-the-art. The C-pod of Building 1 houses Virginia's most dangerous criminals, the death row inmates. The double-gated entrance, or Sally Port, is the only way in, and there is no other way out. Officer Ron Sawyer is informed a bomb has been found in C-pod. He is ordered to bring a van to the front of the prisoner meeting so the bomb unit can move and dispose of the bomb. Prison policy strictly forbids opening both gates at once. If this is a matter of life and death. The bomb disposal team, dressed in protective gear, rushes from the building. The bomb is smoking. One of the men sprays the device with a fire extinguisher, apparently to keep it cool. The greatest crisis in Mecklenburg's short history has been resolved through the quick actions of a few brave men. The bomb is safely outside the prison gates. But the crisis is only beginning. What seemed like a bomb evacuation had actually been an escape. The guards are now captives, and 6 of Virginia's most notorious killers are free.
A big manhunt underway for 6 convicted murderers who broke out of a state prison in Mecklenburg County, Virginia during the night. The inmates were all on death row. The 6 overpowered guards with homemade knives and broke out.
As news of the escape spread, it sent shockwaves through the state's law enforcement authorities. It is the first time death row inmates have escaped in U.S. history. In this program, some of the names have been changed. The Virginia State Police and the Bureau of Criminal Investigation officials are away from the Governor of Virginia issues a state alert to the Army and Air National Guard. The director of the investigative division of the state police, James Ledner, was brought in to supervise the investigation.
The governor was extremely concerned for the safety of any citizens that these escapees might come in contact with. He had been briefed on the background of these individuals. He was aware that each one was awaiting execution for murder or mass murders, and he was extremely concerned that we apprehend these individuals as quickly as possible.
Investigator Ledner arrives after killers have been on the run for over 30 years. He immediately establishes a search perimeter. Because the inmates are trying to get prison raid, police will increase the search area every hour.
with marriage, he did so without any great harm coming to some innocent citizen.
A full-scale event is often officers from all over the state dispatched. Roadblocks and barricades are set up. Helicopters with infrared sensors trying to pick up the heat of human bodies hiding in the woods. Police know the longer the killers run free, the harder they will be to recapture. Letter to receipt where the inmates were housed. Officers conduct a search of each cell. They find no clues to where the escapees might be headed, but they do find some makeshift weapons.
The inmates were very clever in both
Oh, the middle.
manufacturing and concealing weapons in their cells. One search that we conducted revealed a cable leg that had been used to conceal a hacksaw blade, one shank, and some other contraband.
What's going on with that?
They got it right in me.
The inmates have been out for over an hour, and investigators know they're armed with knives. Since they had access to guards protected by it, they figured they might have guns. The state mobilizes every possible resource to capture the fugitives. A death sentence already hangs over each of the escapees. These men have nothing to lose.
That ain't too tight, is it?
Officers comb the perimeter, searching for any sign.
Yeah, it is very convenient.
He learns tensions
I ain't even gonna lie. Not just because I sell them, they convenient as fuck.
You don't want to pay nobody, you just throw it on.
Throw it on. Flat iron that bitch, and they'll swear you was at a salon.
steadfastly maintains his innocence.
Just let me know.
But after being on death row for 5 years, he stopped his appeal. They've asked the court to execute him. Capolo's execution signaled a controversial change in attitude. He was the first man in Virginia to face the electric chair since the death penalty was reinstated 6 years earlier. When Capolo was executed, something went terribly wrong. His head and one of his legs caught fire. Human rights advocates accused prison officials of torturing him. And so, among the inmates, Capolo became a martyr. Fears have been growing among the death row inmates. Fears the state will embark on a rash of executions.
When Coppola was executed, I think that the other different prisoners started to see that they should be executed beforehand. Appeals have dragged on. All of a sudden, here's this guy that all of the other death row prisoners look up to, and he's the first to go. And at that point, the other death row prisoners said this could happen to me fairly quickly.
2 months before the breakup, Capolo sent an anonymous tip to the state assistant attorney general. Problems being constructed as part of an escape plan. The scheme also involved an exchange of uniforms with the guards. This information was relayed to the warden, who ordered 2 shape codes. They searched every cell on death row, but found no bomb-making materials or anything to indicate a bomb was being constructed. Jim Leonard finds it difficult to believe the guards were ignorant of the plan. He suspects one of them may have actively aided an escape. An escape freeing 6 of Virginia's most dangerous men. Police in Western Virginia mobilized and searched the area around Mecklenburg's prison in a hunt for 6 escaped killers. As the minutes tick away, they struggle to maintain their search perimeter. Police begin to fear that if the escape killers slip beyond the perimeter, innocent people could die.
But it was so important to every single detail, no matter how unimportant this is.
Inside the prison, James Leonard questions the guards fearing one of the helping inmates escape. Desperate to find any clue as to how the breakout occurred and where the dangerous men might be, he calls each officer to account for his actions. As Leonard questions the guards, he begins to understand how the escape unfolded. 5 guards stand watch as the condemned men of Ceylon take their daily exercise. Willie Turner and another inmate approach an officer telling him they want to go back and hurry. One of the men claims he has a knee injury. The other says he wants to use the restroom.
the correctional officers off the recreation yard and back to the cell area, lessening the number of eyes that were available to watch the remaining inmates as they returned from recreation to their cells.
Now the ratio of guards to prisoners is disrupted. In the yard,
I would never work in a prison. It's too dangerous.
inmates. The other inmates are escorted to their cells. The guards seem unconcerned they are outnumbered 3 to 1.
The correctional officers assumed that nothing was going to happen, that everything was fine, that they had a secure operation, and that they simply didn't have to follow the rules.
Had they been more vigilant, they would have noticed the plan is already in motion. A plan whose success or failure depends on one man, Earl Frontal. The plan also relies on the guards' complacency. They do not bother the outcasts. The inmates lunch up and start to build, distracting the others. Unnoticed, Platten slips into the guard's restroom. His job, to wait for a signal. A ruthless killer, Platten was chosen as the man to make the first stop. In 1980, he stabbed an elementary school librarian 8 times in the head. He then took the belt from her coat and strangled her to death.
That's sick as fuck.
Because they didn't count heads, the guards have no idea Platten has disappeared. Platten's report would later indicate this was a breach of security protocol.
It's difficult to believe that when you're dealing with individuals who have everyone murdered at least one person, and in some instances multiple murders, that the correctional officers would become complacent and feel that they didn't have to count these individuals or know where they were at every moment. It's difficult to believe that that would give them a sense of concern.
The guards escort the inmates back to the day room. They never notice what was missing. The guard tries the restroom door, but it's locked. The locked door should have set up red warning flags. In such a situation, prison policy dictates that you call natives and all inmates be placed in their cells. But the guards don't do that. Distracting the guards from what is really going on.
They so weak. And not even know what the fuck they up against.
Officer Hunter joins Nurse Clark as she continues making her medication rounds to the other pods in the building.
The escapees were colonized. They were shrewd in the ways of the street and how they could get around these correctional officers. They had observed from the moment that they entered the institution that certain rules were not being followed, and it played right into their hands.
At Mecklenburg, Building 1 is broken up into 3 pods, A, B, and C. C pod is divided into 2 sections, with a control booth separating the sections. The man who controlled C pod was Rick Hughes. Electrically activated locks give Officer Hughes control over who enters and leaves death row. Hughes tells Lecter that one of the inmates got his attention. It was Joe Giarratano, who was housed on the pod's left side. Giarratano asks Hughes to pass a book to inmate James Riley, who was on the pod's right side. Linwood Riley and his brother James received death sentences for 7 murders. In one case, they repeatedly raped a woman within earshot of her common-law husband and their 5-year-old son, then killed the 3 of them.
They raped the man and his son? Sounds like it. Oh, God.
Prisoners had seen him do dozens of times before. He has no idea the inmates are already arming themselves with knives.
No.
There was a fellow by the name of
That was like
Frontal
hot.
who got a genius as far as figuring out how to make weapons from the things around him in the prison cell and how to hide them. And he would basically strip metal from around the toilets or the sides of the door or something like that and sharpen it and make a knife out of it.
Regular County jeweler in 1978 and sentenced to death. Willie Turner never finished 5th grade, but he learned to read and write in prison.
That's where they always learn everything, how to speak and everything else.
I don't know.
Right in there.
The guards suspected he is behind the plan to escape. At James Riley's signal, Platten bursts from the restroom. She hears a truck shortly after releasing the other. Prisoners take control of C-Pod in barely 3 minutes. Each of the guards relate how he had been taken hostage and stripped of his uniform. The inmates take the only defense with their watches, rings, and money.
And what the fuck they gonna do with it in jail?